Hello friends, this is Raju. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to discuss with you the characteristics of the sonnet. It is a literary form of poetry. With this video, you will come to know very good information about the sonnet, and you will also find some objective type questions. And this information may help those who are preparing for MA English entrance test, or even those who are preparing for PGT, TGT, DSC, JLI. Okay friends, let us see the characteristics of sonnet. A sonnet is a lyric poem. It consists 14 rhyming lines of equal length. All 14 lines will be considered as a single stanza, and the poem is written in iambic pentameter, and each line has 10 syllables. The sonnet is originated in Italy in the later half of the 13th century as a major form of love poetry. Yes, it is a love poem, and derived from the Italian word sonetto, which means a little sound or strain. Sicily and Provence have been suggested as two possible birthplaces of the sonnet. Depending on the rhyme scheme, sonnets can either be Italian or English sonnet. When it comes to the point of sonnet, Petrarch is the most popular sonneteer, but before him there is a person who used this form for writing poetry, and who is nothing but Dante. So you can also see, so Dante used the sonnet earlier than Petrarch. Petrarch's sonnets were first imitated in England by Sir Thomas Watt in the early 16th century. He used in both their stanza form as well as their subject. What is the subject of the sonnet of that time? It is the hopes and pains of an adoring male lover. And it is very important to know about a person who is Henry Howard Adolph Surrey, and the other English experimenters in the 16th century developed a stanza form called the English sonnet, or else it can be called as the Shakespearean sonnet, because he is the greatest practitioner of sonnet. It has a specific rhyme scheme and a volta. Volta means a specific turn in the wave of idea. As we come to know that depending on the rhyme scheme of sonnet, it can be Italian sonnet or it can be English sonnet. The English sonnet can also called the Shakespearean sonnet. Let us look at the points of Italian sonnet. Here you can see there is a picture which is taken from the book A Background to the Study of English Literature, written by B. Prasad. And this picture shows you an Italian sonnet and its rhythmic structure, how the poem is structurally divided, and he also provided very clearly the terms of its structure. So what can we learn from this point? Italian sonnet is known as Petrarch sonnet because Petrarch popularized, used more. That's why it is called as Petrarchan sonnet. And it can also called as classical sonnet. Italian sonnet also have 14 lines. Any sonnet, it consists only 14 lines. It may be Italian or English or Shakespearean or Spenserian. Any sonnet, it consists 14 lines. And these 14 lines are divided into two parts when it comes to the point of Italian sonnet especially. And you can see the first part is called octava. So in Italian sonnet we should have two octavas. Means octava means 8 lines. So you can see how the rhyming of this 8 lines. It will be A B B A B B A. You can see in the picture also. And the remaining 6 lines are going to be called as sestet, and it has a particular rhyming scheme like CDE, CDE, or some variant such as CDC, CDC, or CDE, DCE. So you can see here octava is divided into 2 stanzas of 4 lines. 2 stanzas of 4 lines each. This 4 lines part is called as quatrain. So here we have 2 quatrains in octava. And the other part is sestet. It is also divided into 2 of 3 lines each. And this 3 line is called tercet. So how many tercet we have here? We have 2 tercet. Right? You can see on the picture. Here I have given a line in red color. It is given after 8th line or where 2 octavas over. There is a pause or caesura which is indicated by punctuation or space. Here in this poem you can see after the word warms there is a full stop. So means that up to that particular line a particular idea or emotion or feeling is discussed, and from here his mood of expression will turn. That is the point that actually you need to understand, and followed by a volt or a turn in the thought. So volt means nothing but a turn in the thought, means a change in the thought, a way of expression, a change in mood, and that is the point you can see. And the Petrarchan form was later used and for a variety of subjects by Milton, Wordsworth, Christiana Rossetti, D.G. Rossetti, and other sonnetists. There is no division between the octava and the sestet in Milton's sonnet on his blindness. In his hand, the scope of sonnet was greatly widened. Okay friends, now we are at English sonnet. Now it is our time to study about it. Here also I have provided a picture which is taken from the same book, and it illustrates the structure of sonnet, of especially English sonnet. It also consists 14 lines, but its rhythmic pattern is different when it compared to Italian sonnet. So what are the characteristics we have? Let us see. English sonnet was first introduced into English in the 16th century by Sir Thomas Watt and Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey. Both are English politicians. Earl of Surrey adopted a rhyme scheme different from that of Italian model. What is that? You can see here. He wrote sonnets in 3 quatrains. If you look at Italian sonnet, there we have only 2 quatrains, but here we have 3 quatrains. Quatrain means having 4 lines, which is considered as 1 stanza. But here he used 3 quatrains in the form of AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, and concluded with a couplet, GG. In Italian form, we do not have couplet, where we have tercet. 2 sets tercet we have. So in Italian sonnet, they divided first part with the 2 quatrains and the second part with the 2 tercets, or you can call it sestet, right? So here you can see, since it divided into 4 parts, it does not have a pause or caesura. So where you cannot end with a particular part 1 as in Italian sonnet. So we do not have a pause or caesura in English sonnet, but it has volta. Volta means here a turn in your thought, means you can find the change of your mood. Okay. And what is the rhyme scheme of this English sonnet? So AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG is predominantly used by Shakespeare. So it is called Shakespearean sonnet. Yeah, we reach to Spenserian sonnet. This is also an English sonnet. But why it is called as Spenserian sonnet? Because Spenserian who used a different rhyming scheme, that's why it is called as Spenserian sonnet. Here you can see the picture, which is going to provide very clearly the structure of rhyme of the poem. Okay. And what are the characteristics of this sonnet? Sir Edmund Spenser introduced a new rhyme scheme as follows. That you can see AB, AB, BC, BC, CD, CD, E, E. So it is called Spenserian sonnet. Both Shakespearean and Spenserian sonnets are united in the subject matter. So there is no change in subject matter. But you can find there are not connected structurally. Means here the rhyme scheme is not same as English sonnet and the Spenserian sonnet. The quatrains in Shakespearean sonnet are not interlinked. They have each their own rhymes. So where you can see 3 quatrains and 1 couplet. So the no quatrain is not going to interlinked. They are not connecting. They are independently staying. But when it comes to the point of Spenserian sonnet, where you can see each of the quatrains was linked to the other by an intermixture of the rhymes. AB, AB means this is the first quatrain. Means here in the first quatrain where first line and third line is same ending sound, and second and fourth is there, and again this second and fourth and fifth and sixth are repeated. So here in the second quatrain, again you can find the same rhyming scheme of first quatrain. So that's why BC, BC. Again, the C rhyming schemes also repeated in third quatrain. So there CD, CD. As usually English sonnet, there GG is there with Shakespearean sonnet, but when it comes to the point of Spenserian sonnet, here E connected with EE separately. So it is also a couplet. So this is the common element you need to remember, right? Let us see 10 objective questions on sonnet. Here I just read the questions only. You need to answer based on the video you listened, and please let me know your answers on or through comment, right? What is the first question? It is, you can see, dash is a short poem with 14 lines. You can know that, guess it. Who was the earliest composer of sonnet? Sonnet is originated in dash in the later half of the 13th century as a major form of. Fourth question. The sonnet is written in, you need to find the meter. Who developed a stanza form called the English sonnet? Sonnet is a or an. What kind of poem you need to identify? Which sonnet does not have a pause or caesura, but it has a volta? Find it. The last 6 lines of Petrarchan sonnet are called. Yes. How many lines will be represented by the word tercet? Which is the rhyme scheme Spenserian sonnet? Find it. Okay. Now you can see I provided the reference books. The first one is a background to the study of English literature, which is written by B. Prasad. The other important text I used for this material, Glossary of Literary Terms, which is written by M.H. Abrams. Thank you, my dear viewers. Please subscribe my channel and share with your friends.